Tomorrow, College Football 26 will be dropping a massive update, and I'm here to tell you guys that I'm super excited. Now, of course, I'm going to have the full article to this title update in the description below, but I'm just going to skim through a lot of the things that I found important and things that I feel like my viewers on this channel would also find important. So the first thing we're going to talk about, man, is gameplay. So they did a lot of fixes to coverages, hard flat behavior. Defenders now will stay closer to the line and recognize swing routes as threats in the flat. Cover 2 Tampa is another thing that they adjusted. The middle defender now gets deeper, maintaining a better leverage position against deep threats. Cover 3 Buzz Mabel and Zone 3 Blitz also got improvements as well. Cover 2 Mats, Cover 6, Cover 9, Zone Blitz 2. All these things saw improvements. Things like defenders reacting to slot receivers attempting to out leverage them in deep routes. Defenders guarding inside and vertical routes, especially on formations like bunches and stacks. Cover 4 quarters and Cover 4 palms and Cover 6 also saw improvements. Corners and safeties will now pick up the appropriate vertical threat to ensure that the number 3 receiver is covered on the deep routes, and corners won't press by default on the trip side, reducing the chance of one-play touchdown. Now, a very big thing that I'm pretty sure all of you who clicked on this video was waiting for, something that was very horrible in this game particularly. So we're going to talk about that. So one of the things with pass block and pass rush. So with pre-play issues, man, they resolved issues where quarterback animations prevented players from making protection adjustments blocking the running back. Protection menu, it now closes automatically after making an adjustment. That's a pretty cool feature. Visual feedback, they fixed display issues with pass block lines after hot routing your running back. Improved recognition of stunts and loops across base, empty, and slide protections. Base protection is less effective against stunts, as it should be, reflecting its man-on-man nature. Base protection is a man-on-man block scheme, but it's one of the better block schemes to use because it seems like it's one of the only ones, you know, before this update that made your linemen actually recognize who they needed to block. Blockers are better identifying late blitzers and avoiding premature handoffs that lead to free rushers. They resolved multiple animation issues causing failure to match engagement, frozen players, players stuck in disengages, impact blocks, and animations playing in the wrong direction. Targeting fixes resolved issues where blockers miss or switch targets in open field, including RPOs and core blocking schemes. I know a lot of people, including myself, this is why I don't run outside stretch run plays and jet sweeps anymore, because your lineman, your guard coming around the corner, or even your tight end will just simply run past a free defender and leave him wide open to make an open field tackle. It's very frustrating. Run game enhancements added logic to allow users to be able to untarget defenders on run plays using the ID mic system. Fixed bugs causing double teams to split too slowly, preventing blockers from reaching the second level. The lead blocker logic and halfback targeting and under the center formations have been improved to target the biggest threat in the open field. Pocket behavior, tuning to decrease the likelihood of pass blockers staying in double teams unnecessarily. They reduced the frequency of illegal man downfield penalties. Edge rushers will now recognize when they're being out leveraged by scrambling quarterbacks. They also increased the pass rush effectiveness on Heisman and All-American difficulties, and they decreased it on the lower difficulties. Engagement and shedding logic. Defenders leverage now appropriately affects block outcomes. Defensive linemen shed blocks more realistically in short yardage situations. Edge players no longer disengage inside or take unrealistic inside angles. They reduce the defender control on block steering interactions. Defenders with big rating advantages will now trigger a super win animations correctly. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure if that affects my gameplay, I'll probably notice a difference. They fixed issues where edge rushers didn't respond properly to scrambling quarterbacks. I really hope that works, because sometimes you even put your lineman in a spot or outside contain, and they'll just let the quarterback run right past him. It's super frustrating. They also tuned the improvement effectiveness of quarterbacks containing defenders versus play action bootleg. They also tuned the improvement of man covers effectiveness versus jet motions, specifically for the defender to continue following the motion through the snap. So pre-play, when you do a jet motion play call, you might notice your DB and man covers might not follow the receiver all the way across the formation. So hopefully that'll be fixed. They made a lot of changes to playbooks, man. So they adjusted the wildcat and flex bone plays, including quarterback power swing, direct snap. They fixed blocking issues on rocket toss, buck sweep, and pistol play action halfback wheel plays. Improved motion consistency across play sets and fixed alignment issues and no huddle formations. They disabled playmaker flip on flex bone fullback dive to prevent broken handoffs. They also added a lot of new content to Army, Navy, Air Force, and the ops and generic offenses, including the new flex bone and wing back formations. They also introduced the go-go generic offense, and they expanded the air raid generic offense. They updated play call suggestions to avoid duplicate plays. They fixed pitchman behavior on option plays and improved backside edge blocking on RPOs and play action. So now we're going to skim through the changes that they made to Road to Glory. So when adding a school to your top school list, you will now see if that school has offered you a scholarship, regardless of whether or not they are in your top 10. They fixed issues where offers will be given or revoked, advancing and signing day, reduced the amount of test readiness needed to pass your exams to more closely align with the scrape by note. They reduced the amount of wear and tear damage incurred from training. Metal threshold for gap drill for cornerbacks have also been reduced. They added player feedback notifications when existing high school games. They added player feedback notifications when exiting out of a high school game. They added new sponsorships for NIL. They fixed the issue where you could not graduate in 3 years if you redshirt your first season. They fixed an issue allowing you to spend energy points on leadership and brand, even when the meters were already full. They fixed the issue where your current school appeared as one of the schools you could transfer to in the transfer portal. And they also fixed the issue where the Mike linebacker is displayed properly in the trophy room. Now, of course, you know my favorite part, the Dynasty. A lot of changes need to be made into this game mode, so we're going to go over everything that needed to be changed in Dynasty. So they added 2 new awards, which is the Sean Alexander Award that's rewarded to the best freshman of the year, the Jet Award, which is given to the best special teams returner, to help players make better decisions when determining who to target in transfer portal. Career wear and tear is now shown in the player module while viewing the transfer portal spreadsheet. Corrected an issue with lighting and game times. Now in-game times properly reflect local time. This means that a 9 p.m. Eastern time game in Hawaii will correctly be at 3 p.m. local time. Added new scheduling rules for non-Eastern time teams to ensure the games start at the correct times locally. Added additional rules reflecting the limitations on day games in Arizona in the early fall months. Added the team uniforms to player portraits on full screen notifications. Tuned ability prerequisites to better align with positional archetypes. Pocket Disruptor for pure power and power rushers no longer requires power moves, and Pocket Disruptor for speed rushers no longer require finesse moves. Updated skill groups for many archetypes to ensure that they have access to every ability for their archetype, especially tough. Ability on gadget receivers for balance purposes and rare situations. A gadget receiver can still be generated with dot. Multiple fixes to playstyle grades across various archetypes. They updated bot specialists to use defensive rush yards against per game. Updated signal caller playing style rank to use the correct ordering. Increased the speed and acceleration for safeties and recruit generation, especially 3 to 4 star coverage specialists and hybrid. Man, the safeties and DBs that I was running into my Dynasty were extremely slow. Now, don't get me wrong, College Football 25 did spoil me with speed, but man, some of the position speeds that I was running into in my Dynasty was absolutely ridiculous, so I'm glad to see that. The Pro Potential My School Grade now properly updates after draft results and before the start of the transfer portal. Increase the number of players in the transfer portal who start in the open status. When in the record screen, switching between national season game tabs will now maintain your current filter, allowing you to easily view a team or conference career, season, and game records. Updated Boise State's rushing touchdown record, Big Ten rushing yard record, CUSA reception record, and Missouri State rushing touchdown record. Super Sim, so reduce the number of pass attempts for AI teams, increase the yards per catch for teams with elite wide receivers, increase design quarterback run plays to ensure that running quarterbacks more closely align to their real-world rush attempt averages. They added weekly summary notification to alert when a player is visiting for the week. Fixed an issue where non-user coaches could appear as vacant in schemes and playbook screens. Fixed an issue where you would be unable to change a player's position after viewing their player card. Fixed an issue where team win percentage did not include bowl games. This also fixes a related issue where the winning season coach stat was not incrementing properly. Setting the player edit permission setting to commissioner no longer allows non-commissioner users to edit height and weight of their players. When exiting the auto sub screen, you will now be prompted with a pop-up asking if you want to save your changes. Updated teams, athletic facilities, and brand exposure for My School Grade. Fixed fixed an issue causing Team Builder My School grades not to align with the website grades late in the season. They added the strategist archetype icon to the player module deal breaker sub panel when a player's deal breaker has been lowered due to the lower the bar ability. They fixed an issue where FCS teams show under the ACC filter when selecting an opponent in custom schedule. They fixed an issue in stab moves where the coach module would display the coach's record with their school as their record with their previous school. Fixed an issue in custom conferences where you can add a school to the conference they are already in. Custom schedules now show the correct location for neutral site games. Added a counter to formation subs displaying the total number of subs that have been made. So I ran into this issue myself. So I'm glad now that they give you an indicator knowing how close you are to your limitation on the formation sub. Changes made to presentation, players, equipment, and uniforms. So they adjusted the neck length and helmet fitment of most players. I know that Arch Manning was a big issue. A lot of people were upset with how his helmet didn't fit and how it looked like he had zero neck.
I'm gonna need you to pause that now.
They adjusted the hair helmet on placement for players with longer hair. So hopefully players with locks will have their locks actually showing like they're supposed to. New alternate uniform elements for Ohio, Notre Dame, Boston College, Tennessee, Tulane, Tulsa, Iowa State, Mississippi State, and Cincinnati. New updated or added home and away sets elements for Washington, Liberty, West Virginia, Toledo, Georgia Tech, Houston, Tulane, Western Michigan, New Mexico State, and Temple, and Cincinnati. They added current uniform sets for Central Michigan, the helmet, North Carolina, the numbers, and Marshall, the collar. They also made changes to the audio and crowd updates. They increased the crowd reactions to big moments. Home field advantage pre-play swell tuning for different stadium attendance sizes. Updated crowd assets for general pregame and road to glory first-person runout. Deep pass anticipation reactions updated to improve timing. Adjusted UI sounds across multiple modes. Tuning on-field collision sounds. New crowd themes for the following schools. Now these school themes included in this update are exclusive to which schools you are playing against and the time of year. So Akron, Appalachian State, Arizona State, Auburn, Baylor, and many more. They also made changes to music and chants. So they added the Oregon football theme. They added Mr. Brightside to Missouri. They added All Hail Washington State post, Washington State touchdown. Added music to the Vols chant at Tennessee. Added Pump It Up to Michigan after a PAT on the first touchdown. They also updated to Good Old Song for Virginia. Added more chants for Arizona. They fixed fair catch inconsistency. Adjustment to the commentary intros around ranked games. And they also added new mascots to the game, man. So Appalachian State, Virginia, UTEP, James Madison, and Memphis have been added to the game. And they also added some field art updates, making changes to Kansas, waving heat end zone design, and various corrections for other field art on other teams as well, man. So a lot of changes are made. Tomorrow will be the title update. That's when the title update released. Hopefully this is the game-saving title update that a lot of us has been waiting on. Now, unfortunately, no. In this update, I did not see anything talking about new gear, cleats, face masks, helmets, etc. I didn't see anything about that, so that's a little unfortunate. I hope that that's just something that they did put in there and just didn't say anything about. But once again, if this video was useful to you or you clicked on this video, man, don't forget to drop a like for it's free and it helps the channel. Hit that bell so you don't miss any more gameplay and content on this channel when I drop it. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, sit back. Slide in, shawty wanna come and ride on the whip. Ain't fugazi on shipping legit. Fast films, get me right with the pace. Okay, H on driving up other ways. City lights out her up and engaged. Pushing 90, but she still feeling safe for me. Black shades when I swerve through the lanes. Okay,